Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Replay Mega Man 03. In the last part we started the game off and now I'm going to show some stuff off around the base. First off, like in 02, there's this computer here which gives you information. Subject of interest Omega, giant Reploid, same energy signature to Dark Elf, blah blah blah. Some stuff we already know aside from the fact he was involved in the Elf Wars, which we'll learn about later. The other thing is transmission. You can connect this game with Battle Network 4, Red Sun, or Blue Moon. And for doing so, you can actually get the Z-Saber battle chip. It's the only way you can get that in that version, actually. And you can also send battle chips over to this game to change the look of enemies into the viruses of Battle Network 4. Pretty cool. Now, off-screen, I actually went all around the base and got all the secret discs that were just lying around, but the ones that you had to get by talking to people, I'm showing those off now. This guy gives you a secret disc, number 58. And lastly, well, first off, let's go talk to a guy on this level. He was in 02, but I never talked to him. I forget this guy's name. I think it's like Paraquin or something, but he's telling us about cyberspace, which is a mysterious doorway that leads to a cyber world. And inside, all cyber elves that you have are activated without any negatives to your mission score. However, every time you enter cyberspace, your score is deducted by 5 points automatically, so there's that. I'll get more into that when I eventually show it off later down the game, like in the second or third to last stage. And also, Andrew's here as usual, and we're learning some more stuff about his backstory. For the last time, actually, because Andrew's not in 04, because reasons. I really do like Andrew's backstory. It's really sweet. We'll do more with him a bit later. Alright, the way it's time for us to head for our first mission. Yay. Sorry this took so long, Zero. Are you ready? We've simulated our options based off the information at hand. I've had the results prepared in the form of missions. The first two are missions to prevent Neo Arcadia getting the Dark Elf. The other two are guerrilla attacks on Neo Arcadia itself, to protect everyone from its threat. Zero, is fighting our only option? I mean, we've developed this new energy. I thought the world would finally be at peace. Do we really have to keep fighting? CL, you're already doing the best you can. And you're not alone. Leave the rest up to us. Zero... Mr. Zero, we're ready. You can leave at any time. Select a mission. Displaying the available missions, and here are our first four of the Mavericks, but they actually have a special name I'll get into momentarily. We're heading to this one first. We verified a reading similar to that of the Dark Elf on the ruins of an intercontinental Oceanic Highway. We verified that Neo Arcadia is pursuing this. We'll believe it'll take some time for them to reach the source of this reading. If possible, you should verify the signal. And if it is indeed the Dark Elf, protect it. Do you accept? Mission assigned, all personnel prepare for transfer. Preparations for transfer complete. Transfer! Zero, be careful. And as usual, that's the only time I'm reading that out loud, because they do that for everybody. Hey, Dark Elf! Zero, you just got a reading. Dark Elf detected. Beginning pursuit. Alright, now there's secret discs you can find very early on the stage, but I'm not going to do that until I go back to the stage later. Who the heck are you? Heh, you must be after that Dark Elf thing too, right? Am I right? You ought to get past me first. Can you hear me, Zero? There's a switch up ahead that lowers the ocean's water level. Hit it and slow the mech down. Yeah, I'll be revisiting, very similar to 02, I'll be revisiting all the stages off-screen to find secret discs. And this is the levels gimmick that I'll get into in a moment. There are 4 switches throughout the stage you need to press and lower the ocean's water level. I don't know why that works, but it does. And when Childre Inarabitta, which is that Maverick's name, gets over the switches, he destroys them. So, well, she destroys them. So you have to do this quickly. Although, me calling Childre a Maverick isn't technically correct. The 8 bosses in this game actually have a title. They're known as the 8 Gentle Judges. They've actually been present in all the games, they just weren't in all the games. You know what I mean? Like, they were there, they just didn't do anything. To the point where they are even involved in Alpaizo's backstory just a tad. You can read more information about their past on the Megaman knowledge base and such, because complete works and stuff reveal a lot. By lowering the water level, Childre Inarabitta's submarine thing does destroy some of the environment, which makes getting some secret discs very easy. However, note, you can only get those during the actual mission. If you revisit the stage, the sub isn't there, so if there's ones you can only get through doing that, you won't be able to get them that way. Zero! Dark Elf! Stop it! Now you just sound mildly annoyed. What the... I'll have to take care of this guy first. What is it with the Dark Elf's power turning things into angels? Anyway, this thing, it has an official name, but I always forget what it is. I always just call it pretty much a Seraph Pantheon. Is actually a really annoying mini-boss. Most of its attacks aren't that bad. The laser, the shaking, even the little grabby hands it does. The attack that really annoys me is, I think he does it at some point during the fight, but he makes fire in his hands and shoots arrows left, right, down, and diagonally from him. That is a very precise attack to dodge. You have to do really precise wall jumps in order to dodge it. In the corners of the room to be specific, and yeah, it's not a fun attack to dodge. I don't think he does it during this fight, though. Yeah, by the looks, he doesn't. If he doesn't do that attack, he's a pretty easy mini-boss. If he does, well, then he's annoying. And you can do it multiple times in a row, too, which is the really annoying part. Also, fun fact, the mini-boss theme for this game is actually a third remix, well, technically a second remix, it's a third mix of the song, of the first game's boss theme. Yeah, because the first game's boss theme is known as Crash. Got a remix as, I think, just another mini-boss theme in 0.2. And then in 0.3, it's once again the mini-boss theme. It doesn't return in 0.4, sadly, as far as I can recall. I'd have to look at the OST when I choose the intro song for that game. That box there holds a very important secret disc, but I need to hurry up because otherwise I would have missed that fourth switch. The switches are, in fact, what determine your mission score, so you need to do that if you want to get a perfect 100. Then again, doing a 100 on this stage is really hard. In fact, this is actually a pretty hard first stage. But it's the one I've always done first, so... yeah. What a pain you are. I thought you'd be easier to scare off than that. No more games. I'm Childre Inarabitta, of Vile's numbers. I'll see that smug face of yours frozen with fear. Childre is weak to fire element, should you have it, by the way. She is actually a very easy boss if you turn the water all the way down. She can shoot missiles, she can do this little charge attack, which has that little layoff effect. She has her S-rank attack is that she sends a little spear-shaped thing forward. She'll do it, I think, right around now, actually. The only attack she doesn't do is because... I think she doesn't do it because the water's too low. She'll make trash fall down from the ceiling. It's actually a pretty annoying attack to dodge. You're kidding me. Why is this happening to me? Because you got in my way, obviously. I mean, come on, it's Zero. You should know not to fight the guy by now. 2 of his own games, and how much stuff did he do in the X series? And even then, there's his implied origins in Classic. And we got the Ice Body chip, which means we can deal double damage to Elect-type bosses, and the Throw Blade EX skill. EX skills are once again if you get an S or A rank in a stage. No, beat that stage with that rank, rather. Transfer complete. Zero, I'm sorry. You risked your life to go after the Dark Elf, but the Dark Elf was too fast and we lost sight of it. I scanned the area again, but there's no reading anywhere in the vicinity. I know an apology isn't enough, but I am truly sorry, Zero. And now, as I mentioned before, I did the level again off-screen just to find any secret discs. Namely, I found this one, which is the Splash Jump Foot chip. The way this game handles elements and chips, and forms is a bit different. You get body chips, which are what your elements or defenses are influenced by. And then you got your foot chips, which influence your mobility. Since I got the Splash chip, I can now jump on water. Throw Blade, by the way. Press down slash to throw that. There's head chips, but we'll get into those later as well, by the way. And now it's time for this guy. We've discovered a Neo-Arcadian weapons factory. They're fixing and refitting broken weaponry. It seems this is more efficient than making new ones. They've doubled weapon production recently. Destroy this factory to cut Neo-Arcadia's military power. And yes, I accept, obviously. And I'm gonna say right now, this is actually probably the better first stage, but I always go after Childre first because the boss fight I find is easier. Ahead is the factory control unit. Data from cameras in the factory is sent to this unit. Destroy the cameras as you proceed. Which is what determines your mission score, destroying any cameras that you see in the stage. I think you have to not get seen by them, though. I'm not sure on that part. Now, in this stage, I actually like to mention something. If you were reading the mission select, you would know that this guy's name was Hellbat Schilt, the boss of this stage. But his name is only like that in America. In the PAL versions and Japanese versions, his name is Hellbat Schilt. And I kind of like Hellbat more, I'll be honest. Not because of nostalgia, I just legitimately think it sounds better. In fact, that's not the only difference. In the Japanese and European versions, well, no, Japanese version alone, actually. I think they edited it out in any English version. Pantheons of any kind. Mostly the blue ones, obviously. If you slice them with your Z-Saber in the early games, like if I were to slice that guy in the Japanese version, oil would spit out of them in the direction that your slash came from, or at least as a part of their damage. However, it resembled it just enough like blood that they edited it out. Also, in the European versions, the logo was different. In the American and Japanese version, it's, I think, at least, yeah, American and Japanese version, the logo is always the giant orange-yellow Z. But in the PAL versions, they actually just put the word 0 there in a weird way. You can easily look at this stuff up on the wiki and on Google, like Megaman 02 PAL logo, because the 01 logo is universal for some reason. I don't know what's so special about 01 other than the fact that it started this amazing series, but oh well. Now, the electric enemies that I just destroyed one of, not the Pantheon, the little wire, if you slice the wire but not the little plug, the enemy will fall down to the ground and it'll go after you. And also in those little parts where there's a lot of gray material that looks like robot parts moving around, that does pull you down like quicksand, and if you do reach the bottom, it's instant kill, so be careful. Time for this mini-boss, which isn't annoying at all, but at the same time it is. It stays closed for a while, then after a while it opens up, sending 2 bees right out of 02 at you. You have to attack it when it's open. And it takes only a couple charge shots. The bees themselves are the real annoyance here. When it does close, though, it does send out 2 little honey drops that make you unable to jump on the walls and make your control really slippery and slow. It's not a very hard fight, it's just kind of there. And annoying. Also, a couple things. First off, I apologize in the past couple videos and any future videos for like the next 2 months or so. If you hear any fans going on in the background, it's summer at the moment, so it gets kind of hot in my room. Also, I'm sorry if my voices aren't on par right now. It's my throat's kind of going through some trouble. And also, because I just did Klonoa, my voices for some reason are thrown out of whack. I don't know why, because my Zero voice is generally unforgettable. Also, if you're going for secret discs, these little messes of metal do count as an enemy for some reason. Now, the gimmick with this half of the stage is that there's a lot of conveyor belts, and you can thankfully move them over slightly. Not move them over slightly, reverse their direction with the little switches. Yeah. Energy crystals are still used for Cyber Elves, obviously, but I'll get into Cyber Elf system probably a part or 2 from now. Depends on when I get an elf I really care about. I'll see that, though, after I replay this stage later today. By the way, I haven't mentioned it at this point, but 03's soundtrack is actually my favorite in the series because it's just the most memorable to me. Mind you, I've also played this game the most, so there's probably that reason why. The 04 soundtrack isn't bad at all, honestly. It's just kind of weird sound font choices for that one. God, I love the throw blade. It's not my favorite out of the EX skills, but it's a damn good one. Anyway, time for Devil Bat. Well, if it isn't the legendary hero. The mechanoids do all the repairs on their own. So I was just trying to enjoy a little tea break. How dare you disturb my peace and quiet? Where are your manners, Sir Hero? I, Hellbat Schilt, of Vile's numbers, shall educate you. The first lesson a gentleman must learn in refinement is, intruders are to die without a fuss. Devil Bat is weak to ice, since he's electric element, so that's why I chose him next. Attack-wise, he has that little bat swarm. He can shoot some lasers at the ground, which is his EX skill. He has this little sonar attack, which bounces off the walls, I think, twice each. And then he has a little electric balls he'll shoot out of his wings when he appears on the ground every now and then. In fact, it's this attack right here. He's actually a very easy boss once you get his pattern down, but the fact that he teleports all around is pretty annoying. And also, this attack is supposed to, I think, have flickering sprites, but due to the nature of how I record this, those frames are pretty hard to capture. Also, he can fly around randomly, which is pretty stupid of him, leaving him open to attack. No manners at all. Trying to defy Lord Vile. What dismal behavior. He's not a very hard boss, though I do like his design. In fact, for some reason, he seems to be one of the fan favorites. I don't know why. Mind you, if you were Batman, wouldn't you be a fan favorite? I think you would. And we got the Thunder Body Chip, so we can do double damage against Fire-type bosses. And we got Saber Smash, his EX skill, which I'll show off momentarily. You just press down with the attack button when you're in midair. That gets us a secondary effect with its element effect. All EX skills do. When you equip their fitting element, they get an extra effect. Zero, thank you. That recycling plant will be out of operation for some time, I think. Thank you so much. Alright, but with that and me showing off the Saber Smash, I'm gonna need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 3 we'll be going after more of the 8 gentle judges. See you guys then.